The universe which is outside of you, the experience of the outside world, is truly only a mirror to your own attention, intentions, thoughts and emotions. The opposite of matter is spirit, and you could say matter is physics and spirit is quantum. Spirituality is almost the missing part of quantum mechanics, experientially. Our consciousness is actually bending space and time. What is bending space and time? Your thoughts and your emotions.
Don't believe the hype!
Welcome back to Don't Believe the Hype, the channel that explores some of the lesser known truths known by the few but not by the many, and attempts to demystify some of the hypes and narratives surrounding our everyday lives and experiences. Did you know in 2022, a group of scientists won the Nobel Prize in Physics for proving something that quantum physics has said for a few years now? They proved that the universe and our lives is a simulation, that it is non-local and being projected from somewhere else. And where is this projection coming from? It's coming from our own minds. It's coming from our own consciousness and attention and intention. You see, everything is energy, and energy is everything. And energy and consciousness are two sides of the same coin. And considering that we live in a world that is of polarity, of duality, of opposites, such as light and dark, hot and cold, north and south, the list could go on. But consider the opposite of material is spiritual. The opposite of matter is spirit. And you could say matter is physics and spirit is quantum. To break it down a little further, just to get an idea of what our reality is made up of, if I clap my hands, you can hear they're solid, right? They make a noise. I can interact with solid objects with them. But it's only our perception that's solid. If I could get a microscope and zoom into my hand really deeply and get beyond the cells, beyond the mitochondria, organelles, into chromosomes, DNA, proteins and amino acids, you would find the realm of atoms, the atomic structures. And you'll find that between the nucleus and the electron is just empty space. Everything is made up of more empty space than it is of matter. If you could get the atomic structure and make the nucleus the size of a basketball, the electron would be 2 miles away, meaning that the next atom is at least 4 miles away. But what does this mean? How can we demonstrate this? There is the famous experiment called the double slit experiment, which, to put simply, is when there is an observer present watching a light that is going through 2 slits onto a wall. All you will see are the 2 bands of light going through the slits. However, if you had a sensor on that wall that was able to pick up the light going through it, when you turn your attention away and just let the sensor pick up the light coming through the slits, it will in fact detect a wave pattern of light. All the potential and probable routes of the light coming through those slits, but as a wave instead of a particle. So in a sense, it's when we turn our attention to things that the wave that is reality is collapsed by our conscious attention, our projection of what we think and feel, and collapse it into a particle so that we're able to see it and measure it. This is known in quantum physics as the observer effect. Now, let's consider, what is spirituality, right? A bunch of woohoo, a bunch of people who hug trees and are in love with nature. Couldn't be that bad a thing. But that's not what spirituality is. Spirituality is described as a set of beliefs and practices that connect us into a greater being in the world, whether it's through the natural world, the human race, or to what is referred to as the divine. It can help you align to your life purpose, but it is the ultimate way, of course, of questioning why about yourself and the nature of reality. So what has spirituality got to do with the quantum realm? Well, if we're looking at it from the point of view of knowing that our observations of things, our consciousness is actually bending space and time, then what is bending space and time? And that would be your thoughts and your emotions. Everything in this reality is energy. So you can divide that into frequencies and vibrations. And as I've mentioned in previous videos, the being part of a human being is in fact your frequency, your vibration. That makes up who you are and what you are about. So interacting your own frequency and vibration into the world will give different results for different people who have different perspectives, different attentions, different intentions. So if you are able to somehow naturally balance and command your thoughts and emotions, then would that command what is outside of you? Would that then shape the experiences you have and the things that happen for you in your world and in your life? This is the core of spirituality. It is healing yourself to some degree and being able to take control of your thoughts and emotions through a natural process, not through forcing yourself. So you're then able to emanate a frequency where you are in fact the cause of events happening, rather than events happening being a cause of how you feel. You are emanating how you feel to the world, and everything bends in that way. Spirituality is essentially practices, but not just practices physically, for example, for meditating, burning incense, doing yoga, which are all powerful practices to balance your body. But it's really an inner job. It's an inside job. Quantum physics explains and demonstrates that time is an illusion and it doesn't really exist. The corresponding spiritual practice to this concept and powerful tool is being in the present moment, focused in the now, absolutely no focus on future and past. And this mental and emotional detachment creates a neutral charge around you that allows you to flow your natural authentic self energetically, meaning you become the cause for the effects to reflect back to you positively and in alignment of what you need in the moment or who you are being in that moment. Spiritual practices are often done inside your mind, being able to detach yourself from what is happening around you so that you're able to respond to things rather than react to them. Because your response will put out a frequency that the universe will have to mirror back to you. You see, because everything is energy, really our existence and our experience of life is manifested through who we are being, which is made up of how we feel and how we think. So with your thoughts and emotions, in fact manifesting your reality. The universe which is outside of you, the experience of the outside world, is truly only a mirror to your own attention, intentions, thoughts and emotions, that if you're unaware of that, catches you by surprise. Everything you're experiencing now, today, has already passed. It's already happened. You've already created it in your own imaginal way, projecting that out, and then you are living through it, with the mirror of the universe just giving back what you put out. So this means spirituality is a way of inner discernment where you're able to hone your own emotions and your own thoughts into more of who you are genuinely. your true self. Because once you start being your true self, that's when the mirror of the universe really starts to talk back to you. Because now you are flowing into who you are supposed to be in this life, what your purpose is, how you are genuinely supposed to be. When you are still in the physical thinking mind, you're often just reacting to things that you've already put out into the world. This is why once you get this concept and you really start to understand you are creating your own reality and that you have some way in actually manifesting what's happening in your life, you're able to then raise in frequency. Your vibration within your consciousness will naturally rise. It isn't something you try to have to do, just like manifesting. If you're alive and breathing and existing, you don't need to learn how to manifest. Manifestation is just a natural part of who we are and what the human being is. It's more an understanding of having that natural control and letting go, detaching from a lot of the programs, the subconscious mind. Our parents, our family, our friends, our colleagues, society, institutions, the media, things that have been planted into us. This isn't to place blame on them, but when you are unconscious and unaware, this is how your life just rolls away from you. This is why people often think that life happens to you, rather than in the higher frequency understanding or knowing that life happens for you. Because once you catch up with the fact that you're manifesting all of your own experiences, you can actually be grateful and thankful for having that reflection back from the universe. This quantum interaction goes two ways. It's a two-way street. And being able to do that cohesively, cooperatively, and in a way of surrender and letting go is to be spiritual. You will find that a lot of spiritual people, perhaps they're not consciously and practicing spiritually, but they actually are living in spiritual practices in an unaware way. That's just who they are, that's their being. That these people get what they want. They enjoy life, they're joyous people. That things just seem to work out for them. And that is the way. I can speak from my own experience. The more you raise your conscious vibration and understand that the universe is reflecting back who you are, because you won't always get what you want, you will get what you need. You will get more of who you are. Once you realize that, things just start working out for you. Life becomes more magical. Synchronicities are abound at every turn, every day. Whether you're at home, whether you're out, if you go further afield, there's always signs and messages coming to you. Since my own frequency and vibration has risen, I personally experience animals being more attracted towards me, as I contain more love and acceptance than I used to. And you sometimes receive intuitive impulses to turn right instead of left, and end up having chance encounters with other animals and beings, which can't help but make you wonder about the beautiful nature of how we are all connected together. I think in the past a lot of people would think this is crazy speak, this is woo-woo. Exactly. They're following the program of what institutions and many other external forces have been telling to them, repeating to them. Therefore you see that, you believe it, and it becomes your experience. And the truth is that your beliefs do make up your own experience. Believing is receiving, as they say. So it's a two-way street. It does double duty. We're in polarity, we're in duality. So it will go one way or the other, which is why you can be in the driving seat. The truth is, all of existence is neutral by nature, leaning very, very slightly towards the positive charge. It is our conscious energy focused by our perspectives and beliefs that creates a positive or negative charge that we then experience, which is the effect of us bending space and time as we quantumly entangle our observation with what is manifested in matter. This is how we bend or create space and time with our being of frequency and vibration. So you can genuinely state that life is meaningless until you give it meaning by your way of mental projection and how the universe reflects it back to you. Spiritual practices help declutter the mind from outside programming so that your inner natural authentic frequency can emanate more cause of your purpose and let you experience a happier, more harmonious and fulfilling life. As your energetic shape or form of who you are fits right into the jigsaw puzzle of the universe and all that is quantumly, instead of using the ego mind and all of the programmed illusions which can create distortions and discord. The authentic you is made up of love and connectedness, but the programmed false you is made up of fear and disconnection. This does take things to the next level in the understanding that the personal self we identify with, our name, where we are from, our life story, is a real experience, but not wholly real if we consider our consciousness isn't behind our eyes and our brain, but permeates every cell of our body. The brain is a processor which is in part constructed through the five senses and programmed into the subconscious, which drives the manifestation of our reality. Our true self is the fractal of our higher self, our soul or our spirit or our sentient intelligence that is being projected and experienced through us, and is why we experience things such as synchronicities, déjà vu, serendipity, as we are all connected to all that is in creation, experiencing itself. The fractal that we are is a unique frequency and vibration that expresses itself as who we are and is connected in the unseen quantum realm to all that is. And as we explored, time doesn't really exist. And in quantum physics, everything is happening everywhere, all at once, at the same time. So who we are as a being is intricately connected and in a sense orchestrated as moving parts of the greater infinite intelligence that is the living conscious universe. We experience things like the observer effect because of this. Spirituality is almost the missing part of quantum mechanics, experientially, because they are concrete practices and practical ways of doing things that get results. If you want to change the outside world, you need to change your inside world and inner perspectives for it to be reflected out. That's the quantum world we live in. Spirituality is your key tool to help you realize your aspirations and dreams and match them in frequency and vibration by how you think, feel and behave. So you unlock the limited thinking of the physical, logical mind that is somewhat confined within the five senses and use the innate sixth sense we all possess to attract things, people and places into our life rather than having to struggle, strive and grind to achieve them. You already deserve them. Spirituality helps deprogram the subconscious and open up to the quantum realm of the real world of our connected existence by experiencing things in a non-linear and superpositioned way that correlate authentically with our true inspired self we were born to be, rather than the false institutionalized self we have become programmed to be. So being a human being rather than a human doer. Other people from their own observer perspective will be able to look in on what you think you're seeing and they may not even see it. Perhaps they won't even see it. They won't have the vision, the ability to see it, because the mirror for them in their reality is reflecting back their beliefs. The frequency they are putting out, they are getting back. So these are the fundamental principles here of why spirituality really is a key in the quantum understanding of our reality with our own consciousness. So it's important that where you pay your attention to, it is the currency of our existence, of our reality. And because this is all within the quantum realm, nothing is off limits. Quantum really is talking about all possibilities and probabilities. Nothing is impossible, yet if it's highly improbable or not possible, then it's not very likely to happen. The missing key in spirituality is saying if it's relevant for you, of who you are, your purpose in this world, in this life, it could be highly improbable and highly impossible, but if it's relevant for you, and you are practicing yourself spiritually, you're being able to essentially cleanse yourself of all of this programming, deprogramming and decluttering your mind and getting clarity, seeing those synchronistic signs from the universe being delivered unto you, and changing your beliefs in what is possible for you in this life and in this world. Then you're able to follow up and receive results that others will perceive are impossible because it's relevant for you. You imagined it in your mind, you believed it, you made it happen. These things won't instantly manifest. There is an unseen process and almost a breadcrumb trail to follow in some senses. So it is, of course, what you might call a matter of faith. So what are some of the quantum effects you can expect from being spiritual? Well, there's no question that once you start to notice those coincidences that are happening for you, those synchronicities, if it's as simple as repeating numbers and they keep coming up, read into them, understand what it means. Don't look for general definitions. Look in a few places, try and discern what is trying to be said. If it's trying to lead you in a decision that you know need to make, or something's happening in your life where it makes sense, it corresponds, then act on it in that way rather than how you would have done in the past. And then watch what happens. You start getting more messages, you start getting more coincidences, because really there is no such thing as coincidences, or if you look at it, it's a coincidence of two factors, one of them unseen, you could say, that's coming into play, into your consciousness. The more you see these and act on them, the more you're in fact increasing your vibration by almost seeing the unseen, believing in the unseen. Follow those signs and synchronicities and see what happens. You're going to see that things start picking up. When you're in a high vibration of consciousness, you are becoming a stronger attractor of those forces. When you're in a lower state of consciousness and reacting a lot to things, you're a weak attractor. Things that you don't want to happen are perhaps more likely to happen for you. Not to you, but happen for you. Because once you can almost be thankful for even the bad things coming up, you realize that the mirror of the universe is reflecting and telling you, this is what you put out, this is what you're getting back. So once you can modulate and control your responses, thoughts and emotions in alignment with your authentic self, you really start shooting upwards. But it is a practice. I'm fairly regimental with some things in my life. I know what's good for me and I keep going with it rather than do it a little and then forget about it. So you have to create this momentum, build this momentum. And it is truly quantum effects, things that you just couldn't believe. It could be small things like repeating numbers turning up everywhere, chance encounters with friends or strangers, overhearing conversations that align with your inner thoughts and awareness, overhearing music that aligns with your inner thoughts and awareness, synchronistic timing of things that you need or want, or it could be big things like the job you wanted finding you, money turning up unexpectedly with perfect timing, or bumping into the love of your life, all of which you could argue have the odds of millions to one. Things that you didn't quite think it'd be possible, and they're often brought around into your experience in quite magical and beautiful ways, and it just bolsters into your emotional state. It helps you lift yourself up and keep rising your vibration, and really giving out more love, not only to those outside yourself, but more love and acceptance in yourself. Because there's no point trying to beat up on yourself and getting things wrong. No one is perfect. You're perfect the way you are. So just reading those responses from the universe is your way, your cue, in order to help raise your vibration. When it comes to gaining spiritual knowledge and discerning these types of practices, there's a whole new age out there of information. Now, some of it is very useful, and it is many great spiritual teachers and sages, really, and yogis that have said the same fundamental things in different ways, but all with very similar principles. And there's many different mythologies. And the ones that work, you'll know they work because you see the results, you feel yourself growing and improving. These are amongst some of the most well-known, profound and powerful teachings, some of which I have used, mainly from the 20th and 21st century, but some are 100 years old now, and some are thousands of years old. But there are many that are gurus that are going to try and save you, and you need to follow them. You're your only guru. You are. Trying to follow a guru will get you into a sort of spiritual trap, because there are very many levels and layers to ascending your consciousness. So your discernment is key, but it's a journey. So at the same time, you always need to expand, learn and grow at your own rate, learning through your own ways of doing things, your own reflections back to you. If you are open to the idea of spiritual teachings or understandings and questioning who you are, then they will appear for you. That's one thing you can trust in. It will be reflected back to you. So just be sure that if your eyes are open, you will start to see. You have the power to create your own life. So choose it wisely with your attention and intentions. And perhaps become more spiritual. So I hope this helped share some of the quantum effects and insights into what spirituality really is. That you are awareness, connected into the universe to all living beings through love and cooperation. Spirituality holding the key of knowledge to help you realize this force of nature and experience it firsthand, which creates the ripple and the wave of higher vibrational consciousness across our reality, joining us together in more and more profound and powerful ways, and that you're able to be the creator of your own world. The power is within you, it's not outside of you. And the more of us that join together, the more we are going to create the world and see the world reflected back to us that we all desire, that we all want. Thanks very much for watching the video. Please subscribe for many more coming with more information, more insights, and I'll see you next time. Until then, work in love, be in light, and don't believe the hype.